Welcome to the last who have joined. Now I'm gonna get started. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Jordi. As you can see, I'm not Brett, who was supposed to present, but he hasn't been able to for some issues. I will be the one who will be presenting. I will do my best. And as I said, we do have the chat right below. So any questions that you might have during this webinar, please feel free to answer them. And I will do my best to answer them. And now I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. Before I explain you, before I show you our analytics tool, I will give you a super brief context so we know, so you all know why we did our analytics tool and where are we coming from. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see, share my screen, okay. Okay, so now, if I'm not wrong, all of you should be seeing my screen, the System 73 string, the first slide. Let's move on and let me go ahead and give you the context, which is the following. The internet is an incredibly complex and rapidly changing environment that involves billions of nodes and an infinite number of potential data paths, and there lies the problem. The image that you are observing has been done by System 73 using public available information, and every node in the graph is an autonomous system number that represents every organization that operates on the open internet, and every link is a direct peering between them. And as you can see, it's a very visual way to see the magnitude of what we call the open internet. And the challenge lies in being able to monitor it all. And it has actually been considered a mathematical non-compete problem until now. This whole time, we've been lacking true visibility that can tackle the limitations of the Border Gateway Protocol. The BGP, which I'm sure that you are familiarized with, directs data over routes, which reflect the fewest number of hops without regard to the available capacity of nodes and links along that path, which pretty much means that the BGP is blind to congestion. And a consequence of it is that it uses an uninformed spray and pray approach using multiple bit rates to deal with congestion. And that results in having less than broadcast quality, excessive delivery, high operating and capital costs, and latency. And if you put all of these ingredients together, you'll have churn, which is obviously the last thing that we want. We have to rethink the problem. The traditional approach is not working, as incrementally fixing a broken process does not work. What is required is a new approach, and that's precisely what we have done. Transporting data over the open internet is at its core a transportation problem, no different than FedEx or Amazon delivering packages. If the packages are being sent through the shortest route, and the shortest route is congestion for whatever reason that could be, like an accident, a rush hour, or any other reason, then that content must be routed through an alternative route that might be the longest but quickest, because what we've seen is that often the shortest route isn't the quickest one. And the key to that is to have full visibility into the entire delivery path, not just the last or the first mile, like other solutions in the market will do, but the middle mile, where the majority of congestion occurs, largely as a result of spikes in concurrent demand associated with large live events. And this graph shows how having a multi-CDN setup isn't enough, because you are still lacking that visibility over the open internet. And without it, you won't control the quality of experience of your viewers. So some will get good quality, others won't. And we obviously don't want that. We want everyone to have a perfect quality of experience. Our approach to have that visibility is through Edge Analytics, which is what I will show you in a few moments. With Edge Analytics, we are able to measure the entire delivery path. So we measure the first, the last, and the middle mile of the open internet. And where others monitor at a CDN level or at a device level, we are also able to monitor the ASN routers, which is what gives us the complete visibility that you need. And some of the characteristics of Edge Analytics are that you will be able to track the entire customer journey. You can go down to 1 second granularity, and we give you application-specific data, not just community data that isn't relevant to you. Moreover, we do have a flexible and powerful API that allows you to customize queries, create personalized dashboards, and so on. And also, it's very important to mention that Edge Analytics works through a lightweight SDK that gets installed into the player. On the bottom left of your screen, you'll be able to see some of the players that we are compatible with. And through that SDK, you have access not just to Edge Analytics, but our other tools as well. And the integration is actually very simple. Literally, one engineer can get it done in 1 hour. And moreover, you'll be happy to know that we do not have any latency. We actually have a positive impact on it as we reduce congestion and we can get the content closer to the user. So before I jump and show you Edge Analytics, a good way to summarize what I've been talking about is to say that we are not giving you data. We're giving you instead valuable contextualized information so you can see what's going on with your content and then make the right decisions. So let's get started and let me show you the tool that we actually have for you. Okay. Now you should be watching in your screen our dashboard. As I said, this is a dashboard that's you can customize and you can play with it with our API. Moreover, I haven't mentioned it yet, but this that I'm about to show you, you can get for free today. Okay, so you can get our SDK for free, and we will start giving you all of this data that I'm about to show you for free, literally, no strings attached. So bear that in mind that if after the webinar, what you've seen is something that you like, you can get it for free. Okay, so very important. Now let's go ahead and let me show you and explain you a bit what you are watching on your screen. I will do it in a quick way so I don't bore you with details. But just to give you some context, this is from a live customer of ours in Vintus. It's an institutional client that works with the state of Washington and the state of Florida in the United States. And this is live data from their last hour. Obviously, Vintus knows that we're doing this and they've agreed and they let us know. We have a great relationship with them. So if you actually wanted some referrals in their regard, you could do that, no problem at all. And they will be happy to speak with you. Anyway, some of the information from their last hour. Let me explain it to you. Obviously, here we have the peak audience, we have the CDN data, both the peer-to-peer data and the offload are a reference into another tool that we have called Edge Intelligence, which feel free to reach out to me after the webinar or just go to the System73 website and you can learn more about it. I definitely recommend it. It's a fascinating tool, very useful for many of you, I'm sure of it. Moreover, we do have the join time and we have the total viewing time. Now let's move on to some of the metrics that you will be able to get, such as the audience, which is obviously classified by all of the different bit rates. You have the optimal viewport resolution. This is super interesting. Basically, it's going to let us know if the device that our viewers are using is being watched on its best quality possible. Let's say that I have an iPad and I can be consuming with my iPad 1080 content, but I'm watching 720. That means that there's an issue, so I'm not at optimal viewport resolution. I will be here at the suboptimal viewport resolution because my quality of experience could be better than it actually is. If everything is fine, then I'm going to be at the optimal viewport resolution. That's where we want to have our viewers. Moving on, we have other valuable data such as the join time, the view hours, the minutes per play, as well as the buffering ratio. We also have some information in regard to the traffic, such as the CDN traffic. In this case, our customer only has one CDN. However, if they were to have other CDNs, that's where they would appear and you would see the distribution. We also have some information in the peer-to-peer traffic, the connection speed, the browsers that are being used, the operating systems, the players and apps, as well as the connection types. And we are actually also able to provide you with some ASN information that you will find valuable, such as the audience by ASN, the traffic by ASN in terms of volume, and the traffic by ASN in terms of percentage. And right below it, we will see two different maps. In one hand, we have the geo heat map, which will allows us to see where is our audience concentrated. And then we have on the left side the geo map. And with the geo map, we are actually going to be able to really focus into specifically one of our viewers. And this is some of the information that, as you can see, we are able to get from a unique viewer. But now let me go up again and let's drill a little bit down on the information that we have on our client. And instead of going to the last hour now, let's go to the last 5 minutes. Let's see what has been going on with the last 5 minutes. This is a demo environment. So if something doesn't work as expected, bear that in mind that we are still in a demo environment, although this is real data, as I said. As you can see, within a few seconds, the information is being updated, and also we can visualize it better. We're actually gonna put it in seconds instead of minutes. And as you can see, the information is being updated. Again, this is live data from the last 5 minutes of our customer. And now, as I told you, we can go down to a granularity of 1 second. Now we are not going to go to 1 second because this is a demo environment and we can't, but we're going to go to 10 seconds instead. That means that what's going to happen now is that all of these graphs that we are observing, every 10 seconds, if my connection speed is fast enough, they will be getting updated every 10 seconds automatically, all of the different graphs, which, as you can see, it's kind of happening, but my connection speed isn't as fast as I would like to. But I think that you've all been able to see that every 10 seconds, the data is going to be updating automatically. So this is obviously super useful when you're having large live events in which you need to really be able to monitor what's happening at the right second so you can act if there's something unexpected happening. But now let me turn that off. And now, instead of focusing in the last 5 minutes, let's go back in time and let's get some data. For instance, let's see, we're going to go back to the data of their previous month, and that will also allow you to see how we are able to very focus on what's happening at the moment. But if we want, we can go back in time and do the opposite. That's why, well, that's one of the reasons why our tool is so powerful. And as you can see, all of the graphs are being updated with the information of the last 30 days. And it's fascinating to see how you have all of the different spikes day by day. And let's say that we are interested in drilling down to a specific event that collapsed our network, or it doesn't matter if it collapsed or not. We just want to focus in one specific day because we saw something good happening. Like, for instance, here on this spike that we have, that they clearly had an event larger than normal, and we want to know what was going on there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click on the left side, and then I'm going to drag my mouse. I'm going to let the click go. And now all of the graphs are going to focus and update into that specific spike that we just observed. And that's what has happened right now. Here, as you can see, we are concentrated into that specific moment. And let's visualize it, not in hours, but in minutes, because, hey, let's get precise because we can do that, right? So let's give it a second and let's see how that is being updated. And hey, you know what? We're going to drill even more. And now I'm going to click here again on the left side. And I'm going to go and drag a little bit just into that specific spike because I want to see exactly what was happening as I was reaching our peak audience. And now if everything goes good, as you can see, and now we are focused into that specific slot between 1:45 and 2:30, where the event is where it was at its highest. So it's super useful, right, to see how you are able to go into such detail, and not only on what's going on with your mind, but also going back in time and having, you know, that capacity to drill down like we are able to. And to finalize, let me also share, which is also very useful, I think, here the summary table, in which you are able to see all of the different channels that in this case our client has, which, as you can see, it's many different channels, because as I said, they have many different events across Florida and Washington. So they have a bunch of channels. And as you can see, we also can filter those channels by representation, by audience, by traffic, by offload, or by join time. Let's say that we are interested specifically in the channel that gather the most audience. Well, let's go ahead and do that. Let's click on the filter, and not actually the first one. We're going to focus on the second one. So if we are interested into with that specific channel during that specific time frame in which we selected, we're just going to click into that channel. I'm going to copy the channel ID and I'm going to paste it here. And now the data that we are going to have is going to be in regard to that specific channel, as we can see, and all of the graphs will be getting updated with that specific and precise information. So that's what's fascinating about Edge Analytics. It's how we are able to give you such a broad idea of what's happening with your content, but you can also be able to drill down and see precisely what did happen. Again, this tool that we have is through an SDK that gets installed into the player, and all this information that I just showed you and which hopefully resonates to you and you find useful to have is for free. So if you guys are interested into that, you can literally let me know after the webinar. You can send me an email and we can talk about installing Edge Analytics in your platform or wherever you want to, and you will have this information that I just explained you for free. It's a lightweight SDK, so please don't be shy and feel free to let us know if that's something of your interest. And that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys. I hope that you find it useful. Let me go ahead and show you this slide in which we were, just to clarify how easy it is to have Edge Analytic to you guys. Now I haven't paid attention to the chat, so I don't know if there are any questions. I see someone that has asked, how do you differ from NPO? Well, I don't like to talk our competitors much, but what I can say is that where others are giving you data just with tiny visibility into the open internet, we're giving you data instead, taking into account, as I said, the first, the last, and the middle mile of the open internet. What I want to show you is that our tool, as you have hopefully seen, is very powerful. Can we use external data with Edge Analytics? Has asked me someone. I'm actually not completely sure on the specific answer into that regard. I'm pretty sure that that's the case. However, what I will do is ask to my colleagues after the webinar, and I have your contact, so don't you worry, and I will let you know precisely the answer to such question. There's no any more questions in the chat. Okay, how fast can I get Edge Analytics installed? Okay, so yeah, as I mentioned, you can get Edge Analytics installed within 1 hour, literally one engineer. Okay, so that's how fast and how easy it is to have Edge Analytics for you. Literally one engineer, 1 hour, and you will be able to have this data that I was telling you and I was showing you right now. And as I said, the players you can see actually on the bottom left of the screen, you should be able to see some of the players that we work. We have also other players that do not appear on that list, but yeah, bear that in mind. I'm going to give it a couple more seconds to see if anyone has any other questions. It doesn't appear to be the case. Okay. Let me see. Yes, there are more questions. Essentially, if I understood correctly, thanks to this technology, the more people that are live watching my stream, the better the content is delivered. Is that correct? Okay, well, Tony, here you are mixing things up, because what you're saying is true. However, that doesn't apply to Edge Analytics. Edge Analytics is just to gather the data that you have and visualize it, but we are actually not doing anything with your content. What you mentioned, Tony, is in regard to Edge Intelligence, which is our other tool that I was mentioning a few minutes ago, that it's a tool that will allow you to have precisely what you said. For live content, we're going to be able to scale it without scaling up the infrastructure. But again, that's not Edge Analytics, which is what I've been telling you and showing you. That's Edge Intelligence. Okay, Tony, if you have any additional questions in that regard, please just go ahead and feel free to let me know. I will be happy to explain you how Edge Intelligence can help you. How do you differ from Conviva and Max? As I said, I don't want to talk about our competitors, and I don't want to get repetitive, but it's more or less the same that I said in regard to NPO. The data that we are giving you is taking into consideration all of the visibility that you can have into the open internet, which is not what other companies can do. Obviously, these companies that you are mentioning, they are only focusing in the data, while we are also able to offer you other tools such as edge intelligence or edge delivery that are compatible with that same SDK that we've been talking about. So yeah, bear that in mind. Something maybe that you will find interesting is that these analytic tools that we have been talking about, it's a consequence of our first tool we had called Edge Intelligence. With Edge Intelligence, we realized that we had visibility and we had all of these data available to us. And then it's when we were like, hey, other companies are actually just selling this data and that's their business model. We have this data aside from other tools. Let's use it. And what we know is that our data is super accurate, because if our data was not accurate enough, we wouldn't be able to power our other tools. So that's a little bit the background on Edge Intelligence. Someone is asking, why is 1 second granularity important? That's a great question. And the answer to that is that when you are having large live events, like let's say now that the World Cup is happening, you want to be able to monitor what's happening at the moment, and you want to be able to react before you even know that you're going to have a problem. By having the 1 second granularity, that's how you're actually going to be able to keep in touch with literally what's happening with your content. And before you even have a problem, you're going to be able to proactively react if you have the right tools, which we can provide you with. So that's why having 1 second granularity is important, because it allows you to proactively solve issues that you will have. And actually, if you might be even be able to anticipate to the viewers experiencing those issues. So that's how necessary and how important is to have the lowest granularity available, which I can tell you that no one else in the market can go down to the 1 second granularity that we can give you. So that's certainly something that makes us stand up against other competitors, which some of you have mentioned in the chat. And I see that it doesn't seem that there are more questions. I've seen that there's been more questions than expected. I'm very happy to see that you guys have interest and that you guys have the right questions in regard to our analytics tool. Let's give it a couple more of seconds for just in case that anyone has any other doubt that I might be able to solve. As I said, remember that what I've showed you, we can give you for free. Okay, so bear that in mind. If you are interested and today you want to have that data available to be able to detect what's happening with your content, you can have it. You can have it on 1 hour, one engineer, and you will be able to drill down into the way you are delivering your content over the internet, the way I showed you. So yeah, I invite you to take advantage of how easy we're making it for you, because yeah, it's super simple. SDK into the player and get ready to have control to the way you are delivering your content over the internet. And it seems that there are no more questions. So that being said, I'm gonna conclude this webinar here. Thank you to all of those who connected to the webinar. I hope that I made everything as clear as possible. Any questions that you might have, not now, but maybe later, you have my email. Let me go ahead and show you my email on top of the screen. Here's my email, jordi.penas@system73.com. Please feel free to reach out to my email. I will be happy to speak with you about Edge Analytics, not only Edge Analytics, but also Edge Intelligence and Edge Delivery. Our tools can make your life better when it comes to delivering content over the internet. So don't be shy and feel free to reach out to myself or any of my colleagues, and it will be our pleasure to speak with you. So with that being said, I hope that you all have a great day, whatever is left of your day, and I'm just gonna leave it here. So yeah, thank you very much again. I hope to see you soon, and yeah, best regards. Bye-bye.